Hello everyone, prep your grab couches and get ready for the juice because we are about to flip and burn and head back into the Expanse. This will be a high G manoeuvre. I'm Andy and I'm joined as ever by everyone's favourite grey water winemaker, Elton. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, grey water winemaker, yes. There we go.
Little hat tip to last week's episode.
I've always wanted a title. Turns out it's that.
Well, it must be a pungent vintage grown out there in Great Derelict.
Oh, it's going to be an amazing vintage from where I am, yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, as you just know before we went live. But yes,
he's lying.
Yeah, no.
But he in the grand scheme of things, we are good.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah. You know why we're good? You want to know why we're good? Because if we've got a hole in the wall here, neither of us are getting sucked out into a vacuum.
That's true. And you can just book a binder on it and that'll work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and gravity is relatively constant. So these are good things. I'm very excited this week because ever since you first told me you were trying to get into the Expanse but struggling, I've been telling you just have to get to episode 4.
Yep.
You just have to if you can get to episode 4, you're either in at that point or you're out.
Yeah. And
we're finally here. Today, the episode this week, we're talking about CQB episode 4 of season 1. So without spilling your load too much, I just got to ask you, how was it for you?
It was shocking. It was.
Did it go places you didn't expect?
It went, yes, very disappointed. Well, I'm happy, but also very disappointed, and sad. Sad.
Well, we're gonna find out why in a second when we talk about it.
Yeah.
But with a little taster here, as is tradition here, I'm going to read the synopsis, and then we're going to dive into the discussion. So, episode CQB. Holden and the crew are caught in the middle of a desperate battle as mysterious warships attack and board the Donnager. As he pursues Julie Mao, Miller's partner Havelock goes missing. So lots of suspense there in that little description. A couple of familiar places this week. We did Earth and Ceres. We've been on the Donnager for the last couple of weeks, but a new place as well this week.
Yes.
We went to Tycho. So what I'm thinking is maybe we start on Earth.
Yep.
And we'll work our way out from there. We'll go from Earth to Tycho to Ceres to the Donnager. Kind of do it in the distances that they are.
That sounds like a plan.
That sounds like a plan, does it?
Yeah.
Because we only really had two scenes on Earth.
Yeah, they were few and far between, weren't they? And
they were
quite short as well. I wonder why, but yes, quite short.
Well, it's only like was this episode an hour long? So like it's between 40 minutes and an hour. So there's only so much they can get in there.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of Donnager stuff to get in this week.
Yeah, I had a feeling we'd be around the Donnager for quite some time, just because of your excitement and what was heading their way, slowing down, doing the burn. So I thought there might be some sort of space battle going on.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. So, I mean, the episode is called CQB, which stands for Close Quarters Battle.
Yeah.
So there you go. So on Earth, we're back with our favourite Deputy Undersecretary of the UN, Christian Avasarala. Again, there's only really 2 scenes which take place here, both around her. The first one is she's now bought into the fact that Mars did not destroy the Cant.
She's kind of going, it's caught her unawares, isn't it?
It's a bit on the back foot, and she has pivoted, magnificently from we must attack and send a strong message to Mars to we need to rescue those survivors.
Yeah, but it still involves kind of attacking a Mars ship because she wants the survivors from the Cant off the Mars ship.
Yes, because she wants to interview them herself to understand it. There's make no mistake here. She has zero concern over the survivors. She just wants to know what's going on.
Yeah. She's proper nosy.
Proper nosy. Yeah. Likes to stick her fingers in places there shouldn't be.
She seems like middle management where they're not running the whole thing, as we know, but want to be involved in everything and like to tell people what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you are middle management, apologies.
Yeah, we don't apologise.
No.
I also like how they are able to in effect see what's going on, or at least get a sense of it, but because of all the jamming, they can't really see what's going on. All they know is the Donnager's under attack by a fleet of ships, but it's not theirs, and it's not the Martians. So they're like, someone has a new fleet of ships. This presents a problem.
Yeah, and this is no one we've seen before, is it? Well, I'm guessing it's no one we've seen before.
I couldn't possibly comment
on
that, but we have seen one of these ships before, but we will get into that in a little bit.
Oh, okay. I'm racking my brain now as to where. Oh no. Okay, I'll just wait for you to get there then.
Yeah, we'll get there in a second bit. And the other scene we see is a nice little more character moment with her lying on the roof watching. Well, it looks like lots of asteroids and stuff coming down, but I'm guessing some of it's probably just space junk.
Okay. Do you know what I thought she was watching?
What?
I thought she was just looking up into space and waiting for the battle to start.
Yeah, no.
You would be. I think you would be able to see that.
No.
Hang on. We can see. Hang on. Whereabouts are these? These are out near Saturn, aren't they?
We're talking between Saturn and the belt.
Yeah, you're going to need binoculars at least, aren't you?
Well, even with a reason, if you want to be able to see Jupiter or Saturn, and I mean tell their planets and get a sense of the rings or the clouds, you need a telescope at the minimum.
Oh yeah.
And if you imagine now, compare, while admittedly a rather large ship, the Donnager, which is 475 meters. Now compare that to, say, Jupiter. Yeah, no chance.
Okay, what I was thinking, she was laying back, probably had a beer somewhere, waiting to see the sparks fly. Now, I'm not saying that she would be able to see the ships per se, but she might be able to get a sense of, okay, if I can see that explosion, that has got to be huge.
No, you're right. She is lying back waiting for the sparks to fly, as it were, but only in a metaphorical sense.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that there's a shift coming. The dynamics of the game are about to change.
Yeah.
So she's out there, to do that, to, basically just stare at the sky, a little bit of contemplation.
Mm.
I really like the exchange between her and her grandson. And, they're talking about the asteroids and that most of them are small. And he says, what about the one which took out the dinosaurs? That was big. And then she mentions, I don't trust people that throw rocks, or I don't like people which throw rocks.
Yeah.
And, that might have some bearing at some point.
Oh, okay.
Just saying stuff.
Oh, man, I should be writing this down as well, shouldn't I?
Don't worry. If I remember when we get to it, I might mention it. If, in fact, it means anything at all. I could just be cryptic. Who knows?
Yeah, gotcha. I like that little dialogue between them as well. And it ends up him asking her to play.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's, no, I'll take it to bed. But yeah. I'm staying out here. I want to see something.
Yeah, I think she just needed to process things on her own. Yeah. But I do like how it shows that she has a life outside of the work. She's not just fully dedicated all the time to being this, supreme leader, warmonger almost. She's also a very loving and devoted grandmother.
Oh yeah. She's all part of the family, isn't she? So mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that dynamic. I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, it's all very, very cool. Let us move on from Earth. Let's talk about series, because there's more to talk about series, but nothing really gets resolved in this episode.
Well, okay, yeah, we're left with a couple of questions, I feel,
mm-hmm.
because we have Miller walking around, don't we? And he's poking at that. He found that dead body, which he thought was the boyfriend from...
It was, the Tinder date, shall we say.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fine. Yeah.
Found Julie Mao's Tinder date previously, and it was taken to the morgue. I quite liked the line about, hey, he's got no religious things on file. Can I have him for fertilizer? if anyone's read the Becky Chambers books, A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and the most recent one, which is escapes my mind. I can't think of it what it is, but they go into a lot about how in the future, in these closed systems, bodies are an excellent source of nutrients for plants and stuff like that. And I like that kind of, you wouldn't waste that in a place so limited in resources.
Yeah, it is a resource in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, it reminds me of Dune, and the concept of the flesh belongs to the man, but the water belongs to the tribe.
Yeah, I kind of want them to get like a grow bag, but in the shape of a human, and just grow potatoes from inside there, and it's just like a decomposing body.
Glad you said potatoes are not mushrooms, because it was going to go to a very Hannibal place then all of a sudden. But yeah, so he gets an ID off of this guy as a Bitsy Betico. Yes. And he's going, okay, fine. I've done my police work. I've tracked him down, gone to his place. He's not home, and he's talking to him and goes, so hey, I need to speak to this. I need to know anyone who knows him. And they're all being very coy, and it's like, oh no, we're not gambling on slingshot racing. We're just educational purposes. And they go, well, he's dead. And they go, he's not dead yet. And the guy's on the screen, slingshot racing around Jupiter.
So this slingshot racing, this is like a sport then, yes?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the map, they kind of showed you a map of the solar system as well, didn't they?
Yes.
And was that the course he was taking around the solar system, or was it just purely around Jupiter?
I don't know. I think it might have been the entire solar system, because I think what the race was is a race around the system, and the idea being to get around as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And the way you do that is by getting as much gravity assist as you can off of planets by, coming in at steeper and steeper angles and G angles, which will make you go faster. But conversely, the G forces will fuck you and your ship up.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I thought it'll be a cool little race to go from Mercury and all the inner planets, and then all of a sudden you got all the easy stuff to do, and then you get the big hurdle, which is Jupiter. And you're like, I got to get close to that bad boy. And lots of people fail on that one.
Well, it's definitely, given that it's attracting that much attention and that much illegal gambling, it's going to be dangerous. Yeah. Obviously, at that point, once Busy Batico, whatever, goes kablooey, Miller suddenly has a problem because he's got a corpse with a different name. Many different names, in fact. Apparently, every time you scan him, it gives a different name, which seems like a very useful thing to have.
I thought it was given the same name but different details.
No, it's a different name and a different picture. It's giving the details of people which look close enough to him that they could pass for it.
Oh, okay. So even the guy doing the slingshot possibly wasn't the correct person either.
Oh, no, the person doing the slingshot was a guy called Busy Batico, but that guy's ID spoofer just gave his details as to who he was.
Okay, right. Okay, gotcha.
There you go.
Yep. So all falling into place now. It's
all coming into place. It's kind of reminiscent of, the implants the guy had of something out of, say, Deus Ex. Mm-hmm. Very kind of cyberpunk, he's got like... all these implants throughout his body to, make him faster, stronger, more responsive.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I liked all that, the implants, and there was another thing that he was going for as well. I'm looking in my notes. The crypt.
The data crypt. Yeah. And then we have, memory crypt, sorry. And then Miller calls, what's the name? Is it, Moose? It's another security officer, Octavia, calls her down, and she's like going, oh, well, it's, he's got a spoofer, and these other mods. And I remember, I'll go get the coroner to get it out. And he's like, nah, the guy talks too much. I can do it. And then he pulls this thing out and he just starts jabbing it into the guy's leg. And it was just like, ow, ew, it's nasty. I
liked it. I like that he didn't get it first time, though.
Oh, I like that as well. But the fact that they kept showing it going in with that sound, it was just like, Ew. Didn't like.
That was good. Them sort of special effects now, they're a lot easier than what they were in, let's say, the 70s and 80s, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
And they look a lot better as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Nice old practical effects. We also learned that Havelock's been missing since last week. We, of course, know why. Because when we last saw him, he was getting nailed to a wall.
He was proper pinned. He was the tail to go on the donkey.
Quite literally. And we do get a quick shot of him at the end of what looks like a respectable old woman walking by, sees him, and then she starts like rifling through his pockets. But then he gasps, and she's like, "Oh, I'll go get help," and runs off.
Yeah, so
don't know if she will go and get help or not, but
so he's alive then.
For now,
he's alive. Come on,
he is. He drew breath.
Yeah, he gasped, and I'm guessing it just missed vital organs.
Of course. Or something like that.
Yeah, it went in that little window where there's absolutely nothing. Didn't even go through his spine or anything like that. But yeah, I kind of guessed that something like that might happen. I'm still holding out for a certain someone else growing a head, but
we'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, anything else you want to talk about on series? Again, there wasn't a huge amount going on there because most of this episode's focused on the Donnager, but any questions? Any thoughts?
No, not really. No, I like what was going on there. It was a little hors d'oeuvre to what was the real main story, wasn't it? So
yes. Speaking of which, let's get over to Tycho Station.
Okay.
Hey!
This looked good. I thought this looked really, really good. And even though it was in kind of just a transport room.
In the tube sort of thing, a little transport tube thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our first trip to Tycho Station, we meet Fred Johnson, who is the head of operations there.
Okay.
And we see the Nauvoo.
This is the thing, the LDSS Nauvoo, yes?
Yes, the Nauvoo.
And they're building this.
They are building the Nauvoo. So in the world of the Expanse, the Mormons, those lovable Mormons, as previously seen in the fantastic play, The Book of Mormon, highly recommended. But they have commissioned Fred Johnson and Tycho Station to build them a generation ship, a ship which will journey for 100 years to the nearest habitable star and or planet.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a big beastie. In fact, it is the largest ship ever constructed.
Oh, I like the sound of this.
Oh yes. Yeah, but yes, that's the Nauvoo.
And it was hinted that he's built these before?
Tycho's never built ships before. No one's built anything like this either, no. But there is some concern amongst the elders of the church of his connections to the OPA.
Yeah, because that is the worst place to say, we don't want you in charge.
No, it's not. Obviously, the guy speaking to him drew the short straw to go and deliver the news.
He didn't want to be there, did he?
He didn't want to be there.
No. He might as well have just told him at the top of a building. It would have probably been easier.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want you to work for us. Oh, okay. There's the edge there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this thing you spent, all these years of blood, sweat, and tears building, this dream of yours, if you will, that you've been building for us. Yeah, we want to take it away from you now. But he manages to, at least temporarily, to stay off the execution by pointing out that without him, you don't get all the good workers who know what they're doing and who build for reliability and sustainability. But important things on a 100-year voyage with your best and brightest.
Which it asks the question: why would you ask him to step down or step aside? on his terms. If you wanted to do that, then you'd bring him into a board and say, look, you can't do that. Into a place where he couldn't threaten people and hint that, well, it might not get there.
Well, to be fair, it's the nature, they are hiring him as an outside contractor to build the ship.
Mm.
So in effect, they've gone to his place of work. He has power. He has domain there.
Yeah.
And presumably they've tried calling him for reasons which will become apparent later on. He can't easily just go and visit Earth or Mars or anything like that, or wherever the church might be. So they have to go to him, and they're in his domain. So I don't think there was going to be a good place for them to tell him that news.
Right.
But Fred is an interesting character who we will be seeing much, much more of. And we will be seeing more of the Nauvoo.
Yeah, nice deep voice as well. Nice deep voice.
Oh yes, he has a certain cadence about him.
Yeah, but I like you had the Tycho station,
mm-hmm.
and it's situated in the belt, and then the camera kind of pans up and over, and then you see what they're building. You're like, oh, yeah. And from what I could see there, that was just like a structure, and I'm guessing maybe like an engine at the very end that they were putting on, but I don't know. I haven't had or seen any schematics at all whatsoever. So it was just a cool shot, man.
It's a very cool. It's a cool shot. I mean, the effects in the Expanse are fantastic, and this episode certainly showcases them really, really well.
Mm.
But it was great just seeing, like you say, this ship just dwarfing the station around it.
Mm-hmm.
And that station itself dwarfs all those smaller ships, which you could see docking up to it and around there.
Mm.
So, oh yes, but I think we're done with the starters and the entrees. I think we have to get into the main course now.
Are you ready?
Oh, I was born ready. I was braced for contact, my friend.
Okay, but before we get into this,
yes,
there were a couple of tropey things that happened, and
mm-hmm.
they did dodge them a little bit, which was nice. It was kind of saying, look, we could do this, but we didn't. And what I'm talking about is the gun on the floor. That's a tropey thing, isn't it? Come on.
Oh yeah. It was a trope. So that very tropey, but I suppose it was to try and establish Holden's character for the crew on the bridge crew, or at least for Lopez, to give him a sense of who the guy is. And now we're seeing Holden as I know him. The first few episodes for me have been a bit of a jar in how he's been portrayed.
Okay.
Because he doesn't really gel with the character I've come to know over the next 3 seasons. But this was the character I know, who is like, I'm not leaving this ship without my friends, without my shipmates. They're only here because of me. That's the Holden that I know. And this was probably the first time I've really seen him so far.
Okay, so he's come up for air then, I take it.
Yes.
Okay,
he's coming out of his shell, and he'll be doing just fine.
Good. Yeah, okay. Well, we're still under a situation where we're almost under attack. We still have this mysterious ship bearing down, don't we?
I love all of this. He's been brought into the bridge before Captain Yao, who's just casually walking around with a cup of coffee, which is great. And she's almost like bored. I like how they try and explain to him that, look, blame Naomi. We know it's probably not true, but it buys time. It changes the narrative. We need to stop this thing running away from us with people saying, it's clearly Mars's fault. Before we do get onto that, I forgot something in series that I want to quickly run back to because you mentioned it last week.
Okay.
The graffiti lamp.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I like that.
Yeah, you were asking about how do we do graffiti in the future. Now you know.
I don't know why I asked that, but yeah, it's just, I wonder how they do it. I like what they do, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of just, do you know what it reminded me of? Oh, years ago, I had an Amiga, and you used to be able to buy a scanner for that. It was like a handheld scanner, and I so badly wanted one, but never got one.
Ah.
But it kind of looked like that. It's like wave it against the wall and it does the opposite of a scanner. It just prints it out. It's like, brilliant, man. That's wicked.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, back to the Donnager. They're trying to get him to change, to issue a retraction from the statement he said, blaming Mars. And they go, he goes, Naomi didn't do it. And they go, it doesn't matter. Just blame her. It buys time for cooler heads to work this out, to head off a war. Which, on the surface of it is an entirely reasonable thing for them to want to, they know that they're not responsible.
It's a position to take, isn't it? It's either you keep the blame pointed at Mars, or you then try and neutralize that and blame someone else. And then maybe we'll deal with that later on down the road. Yeah.
Even if it turns out later on that that's not the case. The heat of a moment's gone at that point.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, people have got 5 seconds to think that, maybe leaving this fucking union isn't the best of fucking ideas. Why don't we have another vote on it?
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, it just kind of gives them time. And they're still looking at this ship that's burning in, and they're like going, well, it's not Martian and it's not from Earth. So best guess that we have is it's, coming for Naomi.
Yeah. See, they're only guessing as well, though, aren't they? So
yeah,
I don't see why Holden didn't put out a message or just say to the captain, "Look, I'll retract what I said about Mars, but I'm not going to drop Naomi in it."
Now, you see, that won't work because if he just retracted what he said about Mars, they'll think it's done under duress
because he's on a Martian ship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the old one. I've been asked to read the following statement, and I do so at my own free will.
Yeah, gotcha.
So yeah, you got this ship, burning hard, and all of a sudden, it's not one ship; it's 6.
Okay. Was this like a mothership chucking out other ships, or were they all just real close together?
I think they were just all real close together.
Okay.
Possibly connected, but they were coming in as a single unit, and they only kind of split up once they were close enough to attack.
Yeah, and they're like real black. They remind me of like a fly, like that blue bottle-y type look to them.
You know what it reminded me of is the F-117 stealth fighter.
Oh,
all very angular, and as I said to you before, you've seen one of these already. You saw one of these destroy the Cant.
Oh, okay. So, yes, okay, cool, yeah. Totally forgot about that.
The one which destroyed the Cant isn't there, but they look like that.
So, am I getting this right? There was smaller ones and a bigger one, yes?
No, there was 6 ships, all pretty much the same size.
Pretty much the same size. Okay, I got the impression that there was like a bigger one and smaller ones around it as well.
I think that's just the way that they kind of just kind of broke off from around each other and started to attack. But they all came in and, started flinging torpedoes toward the Donnager. And the Martians very much like going, well, they've just signed their own death warrant. Take them out.
Do you know what?
And
I thought this was brilliant. The way
it was fucking awesome.
The way that they started luzzing torpedoes towards the Martians. And you're like, and you're right. She's walking around with like a drink, and it's just like, oh dear. Well, what should we do about this, chap? Almost kind of having like a mini laughing debate about it. What should we do about this, chaps? I wonder what we'll do about this. Well, I know, we'll throw out torpedoes.
There's a certain justifiable arrogance there. Is that she is the captain of the single most powerful warship in the solar system. The Martian Navy ships are generally better than the Earth equivalent. Earth have numbers, but the Donnager class are the pinnacle. They are the battleships or the aircraft carriers or the nuclear missile submarines. They're like the pride of a fleet. And the Donnager is the flagship of the Jupiter fleet for Mars. So she is sitting pretty, as it were. There's nothing that can really take her on one-on-one.
But what I liked about it is, in BSG, you'd have like a Cylon ship drop in and then just throw nukes at the Galactica.
Yeah.
And it'd just be pummeled straight away. This was, okay, they fired our nukes. We fired our nukes to them. And then you break off And then 10 minutes later, you're back there and they still haven't arrived or crossed paths yet. It's like, brilliant. I love that. It's just thrown. Now we wait, people. Now we wait. Let's talk about what do you want to talk about? There's nukes heading towards us, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
I love the sound effects as those torpedoes get kind of thrown out of a Donnager. You can hear from the brig, for lack of a better word, where the rest of the crew are. And you hear that kind of thunk, 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 thunk.
Yeah.
And so that sounded like torpedoes. And then they kind of get just punted out, and then the engines ignite and they just go shooting off. And you got that little display as they kind of, their torpedoes and our torpedoes cross. And that's awesome. And then you see, the first one hits one of the stealth ships, and does that cockiness go splash one down, 5 to go?
Well, she did say that she was a veteran, or 3 years a veteran, I suppose, but the rest of the crew were just simulator trained.
Yeah, there hasn't been a shooting war in quite a while. It's been a Cold War, but she did a period of time in the belt hunting pirates.
Do you think that was to their detriment, or do you reckon that it was just they were just outgunned?
Oh, they were just outgunned. They weren't expecting what they were up against, because they thought they were the pinnacle of technology and might. Earth had nothing like that. Mars might have something like that, but Mars aren't going to attack them themselves. This is just new. They weren't expecting it. And they were just overloaded. They point out that the torpedo's guidance system's much better than anything they've ever simmed against.
Yeah.
And they'll be simming against the best things they think Earth has to come at them. But yeah, I love with the old PDCs going off as well. The little point defense cannons shooting down the missiles as they come in. Well, as many as they can.
As many as they can. But yeah, once again, it's battleships in space, isn't it? I love it.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It really is. We get a couple of nice character moments around here as well between Lopez and Holden, where Holden's asking, "Why did you leave Earth?" And Lopez says, you have endless blue skies, oceans as far as the eye can see, and when you live under a dome for your entire life, an ocean just seems impossible. And then he goes, Earth is a soft. They don't have to work. All their needs are met and paid for. It sounds like they have a fully, or for lack of a better term, a welfare state where, if you don't have to work if you don't want to, basically. The government will provide, whatever you need. And when you juxtapose it against what's going on in the belt and also what's going on in Mars when we're all trying to do this, you can definitely see why people might get a bit resentful there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word that applies to it. My mind has gone blank on it, but would I be amiss in saying that Mars is more like the Soviet Union?
Perhaps. I know what you're getting at in the sense that they're all united under a single goal. The goal being to terraform Mars.
What's the word for that? I'm trying to think of a word for it. I can't think of it. It's a bit like North Korea as well.
What, communist?
That's the fella, yes.
Okay. I know what you're trying to say, but I don't think communist is the right word for it.
Right.
But yeah, the Martians are very much, or the Mickeys, as we learn as their nickname, are very much focused on just trying to get, all the terraforming and everything in place to just, not have to live under a dome, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to want to have.
Well, yeah, it's that thing of, you've never seen an ocean. You never stood and let waves lap at your feet. You're like, oh, man. Well, I couldn't imagine that.
Oh, no. There's a very touching moment at the end as well when he kind of turns to Holden and says, it would have been nice to see an ocean on Mars. Which just reminded me of that bit in Hunt for Red October when he goes, I would have liked to have seen Montana.
Hunt for Red October. There we go.
I can always bring it back to it, whenever I need to. I liked the railguns on the Donnager. The torpedoes are coming through. Some of them are starting to hit, and the captain goes, okay, it's had enough of this. Bring up the railguns. as if like that's it. We've just been kind of play fighting with you until now, but now we've had enough.
Yeah.
I love me a good railgun. Railguns are awesome when done well, and these ones were done very well.
Yeah, we saw railguns on the others, should we say?
Yeah, the other ships have railguns as well, and they comment we've never seen them on a ship that small. Because the way a railgun works is you have it's a massive electrical charge, and then you basically fling a projectile. It's usually something like tungsten. Really, 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 really high velocities.
Yeah, and the way they shot these out, it was just it reminded me of a massive sniper gun with, I don't know, like a silencer, or what's supposed to be a silencer on the front.
I like it. It's they have to divert power to the rail guns, and everything you go and all the lights kind of dim a little bit, and then you just get the electrical charge going along the gun and go, and they hit another one, and then it just kind of crumples. But then they've got them too, and it's like, oh no.
There's people trying to use microwaves on that ship, and it keeps going out.
Yeah.
Can you stop using the railgun, please? I'm trying to get this burger cooked.
Yep. So inconsiderate, you damn people. Stop trying to blow up my ship and stop my lunch.
Oh, God, do it again. It's like another 2 minutes, man. Come on.
But all of this space battle is just really, really well done. It's like the Donnager's a bear and these are wolves attacking it. And the Donnager's, it's slapping them down whenever it can, but there's just too many.
Yeah.
And, it takes some hits on the driver, and all of a sudden the engines are out and it's all 0G. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, in the brig, Alex is freaking out, because, he was only ever a transport pilot. That's all he ever did, just a bus driver, glorified bus driver.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because, your doc's here. He's got you. And he got a joint, which I thought was cool.
Okay, was this a joint, or was this the same sort of thing that I think Holden gave to one of the crew members in the shuttle to chew? Do you remember that?
I remember it, but I don't think it's. I think it was just a joint.
Oh, okay, cool. Just past the doobie on the left-hand side.
Because it says, "Hey, this will help you relax. This will help you. Trust me, it's going to be fine. It's going to be f." And then you just see his hand close, and then, ooh, that's awkward.
That was really well done, because
that was beautifully well shot.
Because he passes this thing across, and you can hear his voice in the background talking away, and you don't. It's the metal noise as well, and it's not a crash bang wallop, is it? It's just something.
It's like a funk.
Yeah, something went in and went out and has gone. You ain't seeing that again, and you don't get. You're like, okay, something's happened to him. Is it Shed? Yeah, something's happened to Shed. And you're like, okay, I want to see it. But they just pass around the crew, and no, come on, let's see what happened to him. Something's happened. Tell me, please, tell me. It's like everyone's looking down at their feet, going, "Oh, that's nasty. That's nasty." But we won't show you. I'm like, oh, come on, what's happened? I wasn't expecting to see what I saw. I was not. And as much as I hate it, because I think I said in the second episode he was my favourite character so far. And he still was.
Yeah.
And up until his death, his untimely death, he was still my favourite character. But what a way to go.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to go, you might as well go not knowing what happened. Unless his head's on that projectile going, oh, shit.
Oh, I don't think there's much left of that.
No.
It was pretty, and it's the way that the blood's going into the hole as well with the air escaping.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of terrifying. But yeah, it's such a shocking moment, isn't it? It's just like, it just stops everything dead. The sound just drops out from there, and it's just like, ow.
Yeah, even though you don't see it, it's so painful. So painful. And like you say, the blood is just the the icing on that cake. The way that they do that is just, oh my God, that looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
That's so well done and so well thought about as well. They've thought, okay, what would happen here? Okay, the sound would go because you're removing the air, so you can't transmit that sound as well. You've got a hole on one side, so you've got to think about the holes as well. And it's not just a case of everyone sucked out that hole straight away. I think you mentioned that earlier on.
Yeah. No, it doesn't happen like that. It's just it's one of the things I love about the Expanse is they kind of treat space and the vacuum in a more realistic fashion. You know, about maybe 10 years ago, if that happened in a film, they'd have all just gone pop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's like, ooh, vacuum, dead.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how it was treated. But, you know, if you're living and working in space, you're going to have to know how to deal with it. And, you know, you got Naomi and, you know, Alex, not Alex, shit, I've forgotten his fucking name. Amos, there you go. Alex is the cowboy. You know, very calmly get up and just start, you know, fixing it. And, I mean, Amos kind of has the good sense to pull off a panel or something and, you know, put it over the hole. Naomi decides to go for a binder.
Hey, it works.
It works. It absolutely works. I like how they have the gun though to kind of, you know, seal over the hole.
Yeah.
But what they can see is it's gone clean through the ship.
Yeah. This is one of them rail projectiles, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a railgun projectile, and it's gone clean through the ship, in one end, out the other. So they're pretty trapped, and with only the air they actually have in the room, which ain't a lot.
Because their room is kind of isolated now, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've sealed their room off, so they're fine for a little while. They've got less oxygen in there, but they're fine. But where they've sealed it off, the surrounding area is a vacuum. It is space, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And so they've created their own little Idaho within that thing. But one thing I want to just talk to you about.
Yes.
With them blocking up that hole, years and years ago, when I was a little nipper, I remember watching, I think it was a TV program. I don't want to say Red Dwarf. I think it was something else. But it was more serious than Red Dwarf. Okay. And I think they were on Mars, and they lost pressure on Mars. And as you did in the 80s and 90s, everything gets sucked out through that little hole on the window, and it all disappears into space. And the way they stopped it from happening in this TV show, well, they didn't even stop it. It just, the air was forcing a table to the wall, which is where the window was. And then it slowly crept up the wall and covered over the hole. It's like, okay, that's a way of doing it, isn't it? It was just, it's such a bad way of doing things, but yeah, the table saved them. And it just reminded me of them putting things on the wall to cover the holes.
I'm glad you remembered that and not Alien Resurrection.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't talk about that one anymore.
No, we don't. We don't want to talk about that. So yeah, they're trapped, and they've only got a bit of air, and there's the whole discussion of, we've got a sedative, knock one of us out, you know, it'll lower the breathing, you know, to be more air for the rest of us. Mm-hmm. And I like the discussion there, you know, he's the Earther, he should take it. He uses up more air than the rest of us. Well, Naomi says, I'll take it, and then Amos is like, no, we need you sharp to, you know, get us out of here. Mm. And then Alex is like, you take it, you know, you're Earth. And you go, no, I can carry you. You can't carry me. And it's just a resigned kind of, damn it, fine, I'll do it. And then he just goes, I want to wake up. And then, you know, he just takes it. I like that moment. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, but he takes the shot so they don't use up all the air. But then they proceed to sit down and start talking.
Yeah. Well, you know, you got to get that exposition out somehow.
Like, you're trying to save air, guys. Stop it. Even try not to blink. Come on.
While all this is going on, the penny's starting to drop with the captain. These aren't your run-of-the-mill pirates or OPA or whatever. And it starts gathering as much information on them as they can, you know, drive signatures, pattern IDs, because we know from when Avasarala was looking, they're being jammed over long distance, but up close they're still able to get, images and stuff like that using the targeting sensors. So she's recording all these down. It's like, we're fucked at this point.
Yeah,
we're not walking out of this. She's realised it at that point. This needs to get off the ship.
Yeah,
he needs to get off the ship with it to testify. Take him to the alert, ready alert, and get to Mars Command. And off they go.
Well, yeah, they're off running around. There was that bit where they did get struck and the gun did fall down. I think there was Lopez locking him into the chair as well.
Yeah, there was that earlier on, but I mean, I don't think that particularly adds anything other than showing they still didn't trust him at the beginning.
Yeah, that's
but
true,
at the end, he kind of does trust him.
Yeah,
you got the Martians doing their job, but they're bitching about it, saying, "Hey, I don't like being here guarding your Earth for us. Well, my Martian buddies are dying around it." And you got Holden saying, "Look, we need to go get my friends." They're like, "Nope, I want my friends." Nope. And then, oh look, ambush, because we're being boarded.
Yeah. And we do get to see the intruders at one point as well, don't we?
Yeah, Holden runs off and he gets ambushed by one. Well, he doesn't get ambushed, he finds one. And he leans over and the guy reaches up and grabs his airline.
Oh, is that what he grabbed? Okay.
Yeah. So he grabs the gun and is, saying, "Let go or I'll kill you." And the guy's like, we're both going to be dead anyway. And he pulls the trigger and click, click, nothing happens. And then all of a sudden his arm disappears because one of the Martians shoots him. But he's got a really clever kind of self-sealing spacesuit, doesn't he?
It's kind of like nanotech, isn't it?
Something like that. It kind of reminded me of something out of what was the last Infinity War film? Infinity War. Yeah, the last Avengers one, Infinity War. Tony Stark's suit, nanobots kind of when it's getting knocked away, is trying to repair itself. Yeah, similar to that. But you can see these suits, they're clearly different to the Martian ones. I think they're supposed to be more advanced, but they just look a bit silly to me. Like something out of Star Trek, the original series.
Out of all of them so far, I prefer the Martian kit. I like the shape of the helmet and the red glowy eyes. But then, I don't know. It's kind of obvious that they'd have like a red tint to their eyes because they're Martians. But it works well. I like it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Needs must and those sort of ones. But
But I like the others' new tech. I think that looks really cool, but I didn't see enough of it in action, really. We saw a guy laying on the ground.
Yeah.
And the gun didn't fire because it's signatured to his suit. So it's kind of nanos as well, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. So, something to kind of at least key or ID it to the user, and much like the lawgiver in Dread, it's got to be in such a way that can work through gloves.
Also a bit like District 9.
Oh yeah,
that was just the prawn tech. No, it was just their DNA, wasn't it? That would let them fire the guns. Yeah. So it's been done before, but I like it. It's always good when it comes around.
It's nice. I mean, you can even get in today's smart guns, which supposedly you need to have a fingerprint to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, it's not a bad idea nowadays.
Oh, not at all, not at all. But yeah, the Martians have come around. Okay, fine. We'll help you. We'll help you get your friends, and they get down there and manage to rescue them all by putting up a tent, apparently, on the condition that they will all come and testify that Mars had nothing to do with.
Yeah. And this is where we find out about Phoebe Station.
Well, we've heard it mentioned a few times. I think in the last episode they kept asking, why did you go to Phoebe Station?
Yeah.
But it's now that we find out that the Donnager had been sent to Phoebe Station after they lost contact with it, and everyone was dead, like frozen into the walls. All of the data drives and everything had been erased or removed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's something's funny going down on Phoebe.
Do you reckon it was like the bluey goo stuff from the scopuli? Well, I don't know why I'm asking you. You already know.
I was about to ask. Why are you asking me? What do I think it is when I know what it is?
Okay, I'm putting out there possibly like the bluey goo stuff, which the person was being pulled into, ravaged Phoebe station.
Quite possibly.
There we go. I've said it on a recording. There we go.
Stranger things could have happened. Yes.
Yeah. So everyone is dead at Phoebe station, and now you have that. Okay, we're in position A. Everyone's ready to go. We need to get to position B, which is the ship shuttle. What is this that they're trying to get on?
This is Vatachi. It is a Corvette class frigate.
Okay. I feel like we're going to see a lot of this now.
You would be correct.
Okay.
You can always tell if you're going to see a lot of it is how much money have they spent on the interior sets.
Yeah. This is their version of the A-Team van, isn't it?
Maybe. Yes, it is. It is. It's straight up is. You find out next week. But yeah, they have to get to this. And I love this whole sequence because while this is all going on, the captain has primary auto-destruct, which has a very cool little nod to Alien. I don't know if you see the warning sticker for the scuttle is very similar to the warning sticker on the Nostromo for the auto-destruct.
After we've finished recording, I will show you my notes. I've got it written down here, a couple of lines up. It says, caution, alien design.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, I like that.
I like that a lot, yeah. I desperately want the T-shirt, which Last Exit to Nowhere did, which had that printed on it. But they're sold out at the minute, which is really annoying. But yeah.
We'll try and work something out for you.
We'll work something out. We'll get enough one just for me. But yeah, she wants to blow it up, but she won't do it until Vatachi gets away because, as she says, this has to count for something. You know, the ship's lost. She knows that. You know, all of the crew are going to die. But it has to have been worth something.
Yeah.
So, kind of respect her in that kind of, you know, she wants to do her duty. You know, she has to do her duty here. It's a very, very naval thing to do.
Oh, yeah. It is get the message out, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Nothing is more important than that message now. We are all expendable. That message needs to leave, and we won't blow until the message has gone. And I like that. I like the explosion as well.
We'll get to that in a second because they have to get across the hangar bay to Vatachi. Yeah. And fortunately for them, all of the worst shots in the enemy fleet, the stormtroopers, if you will, have congregated there to fire at them while they're trying to get across this wide open gangplank.
They've all congregated there, haven't they?
They've all congregated there, and they're all the worst shots on the planet. Once
again, I know it's getting from A to B. It's like the Transformers thing. Get to the cube, or get the cube in Prime's chest. And it was, okay, right, we need to run from this point to this point and dodge a million bullets, a million bits of ammunition. And that's exactly what happened. And they went in 2 by 2 as well.
Well, the first one, you got Alex, Amos carrying Alex, and then Amos gets shot and still manages to throw him in, which was cool. And then you have Naomi and Holden going across, but while they're running, the Donnager's engines go out again. I always liked, while all of this is going on, the engines were still going because they need that to give them gravity.
Yeah.
But the engines die, and they suddenly get lifted up off of a gangplank because, you know, the momentum's suddenly gone. And I like him quick thinking. You know, he kind of hooks on to Naomi and kicks away from her. And because every action has an equal and opposite reaction, her being pushed away pushes him down towards the gangway so he can activate his mag boot. He lands, and then he's able to pull her back down. Now, granted, while all this is going on, absolutely terrible shots. And they should have been shot about 17 times. But everyone was in such awe of this great use of actual physics. But they managed to get away with it.
That's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then, you know, they all kind of dive in there and go, what do we do now? I mean, he's got Lopez just kind of walking in, you know, with bullet holes everywhere and smoke coming out of his armor. It's just like, what a day.
Here's a question.
Where's the rest of them? They're dead.
I was just going to ask a stupid question. I don't know if that would work or not, though.
Well, you can ask a stupid question.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a stupid question. I think I know the answer already.
Okay.
The answer is no, nothing would really change.
Right.
But they're firing bullets down on them, yeah?
Yes.
And then the engines go.
Yes.
So wouldn't they would have to account for that loss of momentum, wouldn't they?
Not really, because the velocity the bullets are going at will override the effects of the gravity, effectively.
There we go. That was my stupid question answered.
Okay. They did a Mythbuster episode on this. They've done several Mythbuster episodes about guns and bullets and things like that. But yeah. No, but the speed and force that the bullet's going at, it might be deflected a fraction.
Mm-hmm.
But, if it was going to hit you before, it's still going to hit you now.
Yeah, okay. Well, they're just crap shots then.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. Shame on you. You should be better baddies. Come on.
Exactly that. So yeah, they get into Vatachi. Lopez he's fucked. He can't fly. Amos got a hole in his leg, and I like how Holden's like to Alex, get up there and fly. And he goes, "Whoa, I'm in no condition." He goes, "Get up there!" And just kind of lifts him up. And go, "Right away, Huss."
I need some juice.
Yeah, and go, "Whoa, there's the good shit."
Oh, that's good slushy.
Oh yes, and all of a sudden, you get this glorious bit of overkill. It's magnificent, where all the PDCs on Vatachi kind of pop out and just let it rip. It just destroys everything. It's so cool.
Am I right in thinking it ripped a hole in the bay as well?
I think they shot out the door, basically. But
right.
Yeah, it destroyed the shuttle from 2 episodes back, the Knight.
Yep.
Just kind of just knocks it aside. He's a little bit clumsy. He's be gentle with him. It's his first time.
Yeah.
And gets away and off it goes. And then the captain receives the word that the alert ship is away, but they're coming through the door. And then there's that poignant moment where she just looks to the gunner and goes, "I didn't think we could lose," and presses the button. And then it goes kablooey.
It's gone, isn't it?
It's gone. It's a damn good explosion, as you say. It's almost like an implosion, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It has a wave to it, doesn't it? Almost a bounce to it.
Yeah. But whereas when the can was destroyed by a missile and you had all that debris and everything, it's just completely gone here.
Oh, this is vaporized, isn't it?
Yeah.
And everything else around it as well. One thing,
including the bad guys.
yeah. One thing I did want to say about this though, they did that pull focus thing, that zoom focus, as it's making its way off. Battlestar did a lot of it, and I think it was in Star Wars Episode 2, I think, when they're having that fight on Geonosis, and they just zoom in and pull focus, and you're like, I wish they'd do that more. I really like that.
Oh, you're talking about a reactionary CG camera. So what that is, and this is one of the reasons why the effects on Galactica still stand up really well, is they treat the digital camera as if it's an actual cameraman.
Yep.
You don't preempt the moves, you react to it.
Yeah, that's it.
And it kind of hits the engine, drops it down in another gear, and just blasts off into the, I'd say sunset, but I don't think you get a sunset in outer space.
Depends on where you are. No, you wouldn't get a sunset, would you?
No, you wouldn't. No, exactly. Yeah, but it's away with the last survivors of the Cant, and also now the last survivors of the Donnager. And that's where we end.
We're getting a motley crew together as well, aren't we?
We are. We're getting our band of brothers, as it were. So that was episode 4, CQB.
So if I didn't like this episode, I should really just bail now, shouldn't I?
If you've been unsure about The Expanse over the first 3 episodes and you got to this episode and you're still like, this isn't for me, this is the point where you go, it's just not for me. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this was This was really good. There was a couple of tropes thrown in there, but I can forgive it for that, for what all the other stuff I got. But it's not what I was expecting to get.
No, what were you expecting now?
I was expecting, like the Galactica and Cylon spaceship battles, I was expecting lots of that, lots of panels blowing up, people being thrown left, right, and centre. Maybe an invasion. I like the way that they boarded the Donnager. I thought that was quite cool, with their little ships that come along and just attach to it. But
yeah,
I think I was expecting a full-on space battle episode. I wasn't expecting us to go to Earth. I wasn't expecting us to get to somewhere else. I wasn't expected to go to Ceres as well. But I was just expecting a massive space battle. And what we got was different. And I wasn't expecting that. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. So, shall we wrap it up there then?
I think so. Any final thoughts you have about the episode? Where do you think it's going? You know, anything you want to speculate on?
Okay. I think they're going to end up. Where are they going to end up? Oh, do you know? I don't know. Where are they going to end up? Okay, let's say they're going to end up at Ceres. That's where I think they'll end up at the moment.
Okay.
I might be wrong. I probably am wrong. Earth is going to wonder what the hell went on. Mars is going to come up and go, hang on, you just blew up that. So, we kind of want our Donnager back. And that's gone. So, they're going to rock up somewhere. They could blame Earth for it as a retaliation.
They could. This could certainly escalate things. Because Earth was sending a ship. It was 2 days out, but they were sending a ship.
Yeah. So Earth could get the blame for that. But then, that means that they can't get to Ceres just yet, because then that means the word gets out straight away. So that ain't going to happen. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. There we go.
That's good. We want that. You don't want to be able to guess. You know, it's got to keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
That's cool. But you're still enjoying it, yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think that kind of brings us to an end with CQB. Our next episode will be Back to the Butcher. So, yeah.
Back to the Butcher. What does that imply? Them going... Oh, no. I don't know. Don't know what that means.
Oh, well, you have to wait and find out. But before we get to that, we've come to a bit of a cast where we plug stuff.
Ah, yes.
Yay! It is a time-honoured tradition.
Okay.
And in that time-honoured traditional way, plug off of our wares, sir.
Okay, right. Well, you can catch me every week on the Black Dog Podcast, which is theblackdogpodcast.com. It's a film review show with 4 nerdy geeks who like to take the piss out of each other and come up with really random stories. So there's that. You have Shonky Lab, the latest episode we're talking about Bandersnatch. And that is on shonkylab.com and Rogue2 Media as well. What else do we do? I think I'll let you do the rest of the stuff. Oh no, the Flix Capacitor as well.
Yeah, I'm nothing to do with that one.
No, we're trying to get a date to do like a 5th episode. That will happen. We just don't know when that's going to happen yet though. So, yeah. Check that out at rogue2media.com as well.
And you can hear me also at rogue2media.com, where I'm with you doing, we'll finish the Band of Brothers podcast and the Earth to the Moon podcast. We'll be back doing the Grand Prix podcast soon, once the season kicks off, about middle of, there's testing middle of Feb, but the season proper won't kick off until the end of March. So not long to go. Middle of March, we're getting there. You can also catch me on The Great Derelict, which is at greatderelict.libsyn.com, or on iTunes, or through your internet. Just Google it, you'll find it. And that's a podcast about anything and everything to do about science fiction, where people come and we talk about a subject. What was the most recent one I did? The most recent one I did was little bit of speculation about Star Trek Discovery Season 2, which is actually now already aired. So give that a listen. The one before that was we were looking at the year 2019 in fiction and asking the question, are we in a dystopia? The answer will not surprise you one little bit.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed both of them, even though I don't really like the Trek. So
it's fine. We'll forgive you on that one.
It kind of washed over me, but it was like, yeah, it's good. And there's like 4 mini tracks. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, people, because Rogue 2 has a Patreon, which is if they just search for Rogue 2 on Patreon, they'll find it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, what Elton's going to do now is he's going to set a tier, whatever you want it to be at, yeah? But if he reaches that tier, we're going to make him watch some Star Trek and do a podcast on it. So there you go.
I think there might already be one on there anyway.
Well, whatever it currently is, lower your expectations on what it has to be. But we'll get to the point where Elton has to review some Star Trek. That'd be fun.
I'd give it a go, I think.
Yes. And also, just keep an eye out. We're both on the Twitters and in those places. And there's many friends doing podcasts. There's the bOrgcast. There's the Good Place. There's name some podcasts quickly.
Hypnogoria.
Hypnogoria. Forgot that one.
The
LSG Media.
They're doing a Battlestar Galactica. The Borg are doing the Battlestar Galactica as well.
Everyone's doing Battlestar Galactica, and we're here doing the Expanse because screw you guys.
Yeah. That's the way it happens.
Absolutely. That is the way it is. But yeah. So go and listen to good new podcasts. And when you find a good podcast, tell people about it and leave them nice reviews and 5-star ratings on iTunes.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's how we measure our self-worth.
Share the love. Even if you don't rate and review this, share it around. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully this, if nothing else, will have inspired you to go and watch The Expanse, which will be coming to Amazon Prime on February 8th.
Nice.
Seasons 1 to 3 and season 4 will be following shortly afterwards.
All on the Prime, yeah?
All on the Prime.
There
yes. Optimus's Prime's slightly less successful brother, Amazon Prime. And with that truly terrible dad joke, which Lee himself would have been ashamed of, I'm going to call it a day there.
Good stuff. Okay, right. Take us away then.
All right. Well, I've kind of done that, so
you have it.
I'll catch you later.
Bring up the music.